And welcome everyone. We'll be starting in just a moment. Hello and welcome to Luminar Coffee Break, where you ask the questions and Skylant supplies the answers through their experts. I'm your host, Vinelli. Now, we've been going through a lot of these coffee breaks since this whole coronavirus came along, and what's neat about it is it's becoming this little virtual hangout to where you ask all these questions and together we collaborate on trying to find some of the answers. So today's topic is going to be on working with backlit subjects and how to solve some of the problems that's associated with a backlit image. So let me give you an example. If you could, do me a favor, give me a shout out. Here's Russell, I knew he'd be the first one. Give me a shout out where you're calling in from. And if you're able to hear me okay. David from Belize. Wow. So we're gathering a lot of people from all over the country. Welcome. Mr. Photo Blitz from Virginia. Sounds good, guys. All right, so let me switch screens. Now, I took this image, oh my God, several years ago at a photography conference. Now, we were in Niagara Falls. It was freezing, absolutely freezing out. Since I've lived here in Florida, honestly, I don't own a jacket. So I remember getting to the seminar, freezing. I lived in Syracuse, New York my whole life, but man, this was just cold. I look out the window and there's this beautiful natural light shining through, just absolutely gorgeous. And this young girl here just happens to be the makeup artist, and she was standing there, and I thought, you know, how cool would this be if we start a huge production and we just start photographing everybody up against this light? So we did. Now, let me show you what we did with the, to actually capture the image. All right. Let's look. Notice that's a window. So here, in order to get fill light onto the subject, we had to somehow bounce light back onto her. So if you look really close into her eyes here, you'll notice a bunch of foam core whiteboards. So we went around and we saw the signs for the different classes on white foam core. We flipped it over and they were blank. So we grabbed a whole bunch of them and just shot them around the ground and a few of them up higher on chairs. So when the light came through the window, it bounced back up and it gave us more like a fill flash, or it filled in her face. So, oh, here it is. So it filled in her face. So that's how we got the shot. Now, some of the problems that we're going to deal with a high key look like this, you have to be careful you don't blow out the colors. So colors is one thing we're going to fix. Also looking at this, we have to add more light back onto her. So let's start in our edit panel. And since this is a raw file, I'll start with the light tool. And I want to set the white balance. Now you could look through the different white balances here. I didn't find one that I liked. So instead, I came over, clicked on the eyedropper tool, and select the neutral gray, which is usually the eye. Look at that. Before and after. Let's just give it a little more color tint. Right about there. There it is. Before and after. Put it back where I had it. There we go. Look at that. And I'll move back up just a touch. All right. So we're off to a really good start. I do want to bring back the highlights just a little bit. Now, if I go too much, you'll see that the window will appear in the background. So we definitely don't want that. If I blow it out this way, a positive value, then it's going to shape and sculpture the face just a little bit more. And actually, I kind of like that. All right. Let's bump up the contrast a little bit. And that's probably going to add most of the effect on the outfit that she's wearing. Let's see. The black should be used a little more enriching. Right, like that. And bring up the whites just a little bit. Good. All right. Here's the little trick. I like to take the curves adjustment layer and just bring it down just a little. There. All right, so before, after, we're slowly getting to where we need to be. Now, I need to add more light to her face. Well, we already know that with the new Portrait Enhancer tool, the new face light is absolutely amazing for this. It's like we added a reflector or we added a fill light right to her face. Look at that. All right, let's make sure her eyes pop. Nice. She has a little dark circles under her eyes. Let's remove those. Since she's a makeup artist, she took care of most of her makeup. But her eyebrows could use a little improving. I don't want to do, her lips look good to me. I really don't want to go overboard on it because if I do, then it may take away from the scene. Yeah, see, to me, now I'm looking at her lips more than I would her. Good, so ready? Now, you have a choice here. We can either toggle the individual tool on and off, or globally look at what we started with and where we finished. All right? I mean, so far that's looking really good. So imagine when we did this, we started out with her, I took her pictures, then we just started running the other makeup artists and the other models that weren't working yet. We took several shots of them like this, and then we got into some of the participants and started photographing the participants. Now I have to admit, what was going on in my head? After I got done shooting probably about 70 people, I thought, oh man, how am I going to process all of these? And once I process them, how do I deliver them to the people at the event? Using simple techniques like this made it quick. I can create a Luminar look, apply it to all 70 of them, and then just export them to a Dropbox, or if you have a SmugMug account, send it up to SmugMug. So I like where I'm at with this. I think what I would do is come over to the canvas tools, and I'd probably want to crop it to an 8x10. Knowing that she's a hair and makeup artist, she could use this in her portfolio. Good. And remember, our goal is to make sure we're thinking about problem solving instead of, well, what tools can I use? We want to be purpose-centric rather than tool-centric. So if we're looking at this image, already I can tell we haven't even touched on the skin yet. So here's a great time to smooth her skin and remove any of the blemishes. I don't have to worry about the shine because I actually like where the shine is. Right about there. Oh, look at that. Before and after, that looks nice. You know what? I went a little overboard with the skin. Let me bring it back just a little bit. Oh, I like that a lot. Now, and the cropping I think looks really good for this. One thing I definitely want to do is her hair. I want the color to stand out a little bit more. So from the essential tools, I'm going to select color. I know saturation will affect all the colors in the scene. So let's dial that back a little bit. Instead, let's use vibrancy. That's going to increase the muted colors in the scene. Ooh, that looks good. There it is, before and after. And then if I want, I can come back down, add just a little bit of structure. Not too much. Good. So I brought back some of the pores. And I'm liking the shot. So, guys, here's what we started with. And with just a few little tips and tricks, we were able to make the image look a lot sharper. So, that's how I dealt with a backlit problem. So, the next time you're out shooting, don't just look at a situation and think, well, I can't get that shot because the backlit, the light's coming from the back. I have nothing to bounce light into the front. Think of different ways you can enhance that when you're out in the field. Then use Luminar to enhance the image to make it look even sharper. All right? So I'm going to open the floor for any discussions. Excuse me. And remember, anytime you have a question, please feel free to put it in the chat box. And then during the episode, we'll get down to it. So over the next few weeks, we're going to have special guests coming on. And I think that when we do have a guest, it could be one of you. It could be any number one of my friends that I come up through the photography career with. It could be anyone, as long as we're asking questions and answering them back and forth. So if you have a favorite topic you want us to cover next time, please leave it in the window. If you want to be featured as one of the guests where you can ask questions one-on-one, put that in the chat window too. Well, I'm Vanelli. On behalf of Skylum, thanks so much for watching.